Hi guys, so I'm doing a reading on Steve Mnuchin. I feel like I've only done one reading on him and I don't think it was super in depth. And by the way, I've already pulled the cards here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the visions first and then talk about the cards, okay? Because I have specific questions that the cards themselves, the cards give patterns, okay, but they don't always answer the question you have. If you have a question, I didn't really ask questions. I just essentially asked about him and what's going to happen to him. So, but at the same time, I have specific questions about him, which are, why was he picked? What is he doing on behalf of Russia in the Treasury Department? Because we know he's trying to ease the sanctions, okay? What does Mueller know about him? Is he going to jail? What crimes has he committed? Because we know he has committed crimes, guys. I'm sorry, he already has. Pretty much every person in the Trump government has, but I think somehow I got super worried about him this week. Just today. I guess, I haven't looked into I know people are going to ask me about Wall Street and stuff, but I feel like there's something really sinister about, this is why. This week it came out that he was trying to ease sanctions for the Russians. We know how, for example, the weekend right after, those Russians were indicted on Friday, and then Monday, they said that the Treasury Department now no longer required dark money donors to be revealed. Hello, I'm sorry, hello. Oh, it's a coincidence. Oh yeah. So because all of all crimes committed by these people are pretty much 95% of them probably financial. He has a big role, okay, because he wants to cover up all the financial crimes. That's a big deal. So guys, and because, he has a facade that he worked in Goldman Sachs, okay, and he was a very high level person there, and his dad was he's a kind of old money person, okay, so he's a very good cover-up person in that way. So there's all these questions about him, guys. So I'm going to get started with the questions. I'm only going to do with my eyes closed, okay? I'm not going to do cards for these, but then I'll show you what the cards show here, okay? Why was Mnuchin picked? It's showing that the Russians know him already. They had worked with him before. And guys, FYI, he worked as a movie producer in Hollywood, and one of the partners was one of those big oligarch guys, I think. So he goes way back with the Russians. So, okay, so they felt he could trust him. He was a perfect facade. All right. Okay, so what is he doing on behalf of Russia in the Treasury Department? Guys, it's like I've said before, it's kind of crazy now, the divisions. They're so clear. They're very to the point. So the image I got was that he has some sort of, doesn't say which document. Remember whiteouts? I don't know if you guys remember whiteouts that you can put on top of whatever is written. So his job is to white out people or documents, or to make them hidden, hiding things. That's what he does, okay, on behalf of us. So it's like whiting out things, okay? Whatever they're involved in, the documents are hidden, or he has access to these documents. Okay, so what does Mueller know about him? Meaning, not just know about him, but know about whatever crimes he may have committed. What evidence does Mueller have of him? Okay, the first image I got, guys, is interesting. It's showing, and this I don't think it's literal, okay? It's showing that there's cameras everywhere in the Treasury Department, and they are watching his every move, and they're laughing. The FBI is like, he thinks he's so clever, but they've seen everything that he's doing. Okay, so that's the first thing I see. So what else? Yeah, they know he was dirty before. They found all these foreign bank accounts. Oh, and say Andrew Weissman already knew from it's telling me this from a previous investigation, that he has these foreign bank accounts where there's a lot of shady money going into him, and he doesn't. Yeah. First, initially, they thought it was just tax evasion, but there's more like of a money laundering scheme situation there. I feel like he's one of those people who, obviously everybody like that works for Trump, but it's hollow. He has no He just has no humanity in him, or he's totally hollow, okay? And he wants, yeah, he wants to an oligarchy, right? He wants to be one of those guys that's gonna be rich and whatever, fuck everybody else, obviously, right? Okay. So because of his knowledge of finance, he's good with understanding how to, oh my god, this is kind of sad, but it's true. It's what it's showing me here. Because of his knowledge of numbers, he understands how to translate the money laundering scheme into a way that the U.S. banking system would probably not catch, or try to not catch. So I feel like he's trying to create situations that will make money laundering easier. And it's not saying, it's not, obviously, I don't know that he's a super Mr. the greatest trader of all time. No, I think what happens is banking regulations and those kinds of things. Okay, so easing the regulations or creating new systems that would allow money laundering to flow through more easily. Okay. And before I ask the question about whether he's going to jail, I'm asking, what crimes has he committed? Because I'm sorry, he has committed crimes, obviously, right? So what crimes has he committed before he came to the Trump administration and after? It's interesting, guys. So the first part before he came to Trump's administration is showing that he had the production thing in Hollywood, okay, and it showed me how that's it's saying how that's how he met the current wife. She was an aspiring actress, but it's showing that in some ways the whole thing with Hollywood being a producer in Hollywood is bullshit. He knew he was not a serious producer. He didn't care about it too much. It was just a means to launder money, okay? And it shows that, interesting, once he gets into the Treasury Department, his job, in some ways, is really, it's strange. I didn't expect it to be this. He's showing that he's almost like he's a petty criminal, although his crimes are in much larger scale. All he does is steal documents, like not falsify, but change them so that people can be identified, okay, for whatever crimes, removes documents about specific people. And then he also creates these loopholes or situations where money laundering can be improved. But it's showing, guys, that he really doesn't do, I would expect that he would be in touch with Wall Street people, okay, that he would be looking at the economy more closely. But no, it's showing that all he does is falsify documents for Russians and also enable money laundering. Okay, I'm serious. Like I thought he was gonna be. No, he doesn't do that. All he does is watch the documents, clean up the data so that their crimes don't show up. Okay, so that's that. All right. Now the last question is he going to jail? Is Steve Mnuchin going to jail? I think he is, guys. I think he is, because it's funny. I see him dead. Okay, because I like to see kind of like a progression of the quickly to see. I see him in jail, but when he's very, very old. So I feel like he dies in jail, like he's dead in his cell, and then his hair is all white. So I think he had natural causes, but it doesn't really matter how he dies. But essentially, I think he dies in jail, meaning he spends a long time there. I think. Could I be wrong? Okay. What is the progression of time? And I have the, with the timeline, I'm gonna close my eyes, but I'm gonna move my hands because it's like this. It's this invisible slider. Okay, so what is starting August? Yeah, so interesting. It's very interesting, guys. So it's showing that. So then I got, this the thing goes right, and then by October, his everything is halted. Okay, he's halted, and it's a very interesting image that I got. That by October, everything has halted. Like nothing. It's like he's totally stuck, and when it halts, he's like a little. He showed like he's this size, and then he falls on a glass of water. Like imagine he falls on a little glass of water, and Muller's naked. It's like, oh, there's Heather. He's kind of like he's so little, and so from then he's in prison. Okay, I think they interrogate him and stuff. And I think he goes to jail. I feel like there's going to be a trial, but only 2000 and I don't know 19 or whatever. It's going to be maybe a year until the whole legal situation for him is sorted. But I think he's one of those people that are interrogated after Trump leaves. Okay, and I think he's not, like I said, I do think that once Trump leaves, the situation is going to be a lot harsher for people involved in this administration. So they're not going to be allowed to have, like Manafort, like you go on bail. There's no bail for them, okay? I mean, I could be wrong. Like I said, take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt. So that's that, guys. And I'm asking myself, okay, why is the art his sentence seems to be quite high. Why is that? And I'm thinking because the whole thing is considered in some ways espionage. Okay, it's considered treason also, in that he's conspiring with the foreign enemy. Okay, and that he was just a kind of like a CFO of the crime family situation. Not Trump, but those helping out those Russians in a CFO capacity. CFO, if you don't know, it's a Chief Financial Officer. So, hi guys, so I'm back. And right now, I'm going to look at as I said before, add in the cards. And now that I've talked about the vision, I'm going to go over the cards, okay? So let's get started. I'm going to quickly, it's a lot, okay? So what I think I'm probably going to do is do one column at a time, okay? I'm going to do this. So let's start here. Okay, so this is a person trying to move on, not being able to, okay? Wanting to change something. This is gifts, usually bribery, a change, messenger, success. So I feel like in some ways, I think it's clear, but also a little bit unclear. If I go by my visions, it confirms the idea that he wants to change policies to benefit, in a way, some sort of bribery or something illegal related to money, to change and to be a messenger, right? He's a messenger or something, and he is a messenger. It would be weird, like a messenger that creates success or a messenger of success. But ultimately, it tells me that he wants to benefit himself. Okay, this messenger situation is not for us, but for him. A person asserting himself. Now, this card means either something illegal, okay, a legal institution, or the government. Because we have the gifts right next to it here, the bouquet, I am inclined to think that this is the government and not the law, okay? And again, change. There's change. What happens to change? Coming within 90 days, okay? And this, again, is messenger. Here we have an ending, okay? This is a big deal. The message becomes then a message about an ending. Signs of an ending. Interesting, because this doesn't really make a lot of sense, because it's a success and then victory next to it, okay? So it could also be, if I think of this as something legal, then it makes more sense, because it could say, well, this is, as a column, this works. As a row, it doesn't make a lot of sense. But as a column, you could say that the justice makes imposes itself, right? It asserts itself here through the 7 of Wands. Within 90 days, there's an ending. So he has to go, and there's victory here. Victory, I would think, probably for justice, not him. If this were a sentence, this would be the subject, right? So the subject here would be Justice Department, or the law. Here, guys, this is the center. It's kind of important. So this is a card of a wedding happening. And this is also, I think, of a home. And if you think of a home, if you work for the government, this would be the country. I think of it as a country. Something secret. Okay. So here we have wanting to move away, but there's something. But the country is asserting itself at the same time. So this is like, the justice is looking into these gifts, are looked at by justice secretly, okay, and or through secrets. This is another important card, living room. It means private communications. Okay, and then, this is important too, the il nemico, the enemy upside down, that would be exposure of an enemy, that he is an enemy, right? And this is cutting losses, right? This is the widower. So the person who's lost something, moving on. So, okay, so I think this tells me, again, it reminds me of the first image I saw, that he's already under pretty intense surveillance, and they're looking at his communications, okay? And that exposes him as an enemy, right? Again, this enemy here and the secret card can connect well together, right? Because the secret of the stuff he has done is secret, but also that how he's being looked at. Another card that suggests theft. This is literally a card of this. The code word for this card, 7 of Swords, theft, upside down, revelation of theft, something behind your back. This is a card of fame, something becoming known. So again, the idea of the theft becomes public, gaining a lot of money, right? There's a lot of money that can't be explained. And then here, alegria. Now, this is joy. When I look at this card, I think it's these people who are celebrating his friends, okay? So he is an enemy because he only works for these friends here. And this is the retired man. Oh, I think, when you think of people like Wilbur Ross, sort of like those Koch brothers, those types of old white guys, okay? So there's discovery that he has stolen money. There's money that can't be explained here. They only benefit some people. This could also be, guys, I don't know if it's Social Security. There's some, he is involved in the tax plan, right? So in a way, this could be something that would affect people who are retired. Now, okay, let me just go back. Give more room to the last column here because it's kind of important. Here's the card of the past, or something that has happened since the past. Also children. The heart, that would be values or love. Now his heart is right above like foreign power. So, he's connected, he has a long-term connection to these people. And this is a card to celebrate. No. No, Steve Mnuchin. Stop. No, Steve. No, Steve Mnuchin. No, Steve. Because, look, Disgrazia. So, guys, this is literally the worst card in Sibylla. So, disgrace is coming for him. You're done, bitch. Oh, yeah. This is a card of weakness. And it suggests it's a card of, for example, if you're sick, the situation is going to get worse for you. And so last ends like that. So that's it, guys. I think it's bad for him. It's bad. And in some ways I worry, how much harm he's going to do to the country in some way. I feel like this really is about him, not about us. But all these people are going to be, disgrace for them. And it's pretty bad what happens to him here. And, yeah. So I think now it's becoming, even now when I look at these cards, if you look at it, it's hard to see because there's so many, okay? But it becomes pretty clear that his role is quite, he's an important person here, okay? Because obviously his role, but there is all this financial, this would be money laundering, disgrace, becoming known, theft exposed, okay? Then again, secret becomes public, because there's the communication. Like I said, there's a lot of indications here that he's gonna have a painful ending. Thank God. Not normal, right? It's like justice will be done, but I think we're gonna learn a lot more about what he has done to benefit the Russians. The fact that he's doing all this behind our backs is in some ways worse. Okay, because if you think about it, for example, as annoying as Sarah Huckabee Sanders is, this guy, he's really, she's lying. I mean, it's like, who's worse, right? But at the same time, I feel like what this guy's doing here is really, and that's, like I said, now it makes more sense why he would get a long sentence, because it's like espionage, right? He's taking these documents, he's doing these things, so that's that. So, I'm going to stop here. Oh, yeah, Steve Mnuchin. Mnuchin. Yeah, bye.